All right, our next speaker is here to tell you about the power of personalized nutrition. Registered dietitian Ashley Koff is an award-winning personalized nutrition expert with over 20 years of experience helping people get healthy. She is the founder of the Better Nutrition Program, where she leads a team developing cutting-edge, personalized nutrition tools and programs to optimize health. Ashley is also the author of not one, but 2 books, Recipes for IBS and Mom Energy. Ashley has served as a strategic nutrition consultant for companies like Procter & Gamble, Westin Hotels, Califia Farms, Avon, and more. Even more, Ashley was awarded by InStyle magazine as Hollywood's leading nutritionist and was named in the first list of top 10 registered dietitians in the U.S. by Today's Dietitian magazine. So please help me in welcoming Ashley Koff.
Got the clicker. All right, so is everybody ready to move a little bit? We've been hearing a lot about how sitting is the new smoking or not better. Okay, great. So just make sure you have a little bit of room. Yes, I'm a dietitian and we're going to talk about nutrition, but we're going to move. Okay, so stand up if you think that drinking more water is better for you. Oh, look, already standing. Okay, great. Stand up if you think drinking more water is better for you. Okay, sit down if you think coffee is bad for you. I see it. Sit down if you think chocolate is bad for you. Excellent, my people, my people. Sit down if you think dairy is bad for you. Oh, some people are debating. Okay, great. And why don't we sit down if we think that all of us women have the exact same nutrient needs at every single point in our lives? Okay, great. So we are here at Women's Wellness Day, and I want to tell you the one thing that is wrong. We're in such a great place. Thank you for the early conversations. So great to actually be having healthcare conversations about women. But one of the issues with healthcare conversations about women is no 2 women are the same. There is no you in women, right? And also, as I think many of us know, we are not the same many of the different decades of our lives. And certainly, sometimes, not even the same hours in the day, right? So what we need to give our bodies so that they can run better through all of those different phases is going to be dependent on who we are today and how we can actually deliver that. What is deliciously doable? I'm also going to make you feel great about whatever you consume for breakfast, even if you actually haven't broken your fast yet, that would be fine, and also what we're going to have for lunch. Okay, so let's come on. We don't need to know more about me. Today we're going to go over whether or not you want optimal health. Is there anybody here who does not want optimal health? Okay, great. And is anyone here trying to make better nutrition choices? Okay. Is anybody here? Maybe we'll stand up again. Why not? Stand up if you feel like you are, it's like a day job, another day job to figure out what your nutrition should be. Is anybody confused, overwhelmed? Stand up if it's another, I mean, unfortunately, I get paid for it, but I don't know for any of you. Okay, yeah, it's another day job. Okay, you can go ahead and sit down. One of the epidemics that I am seeing today, more so than cardiometabolic issues or anything else, is the epidemic of what I call infobesity. We are fat on information. We are overwhelmed by information. Did you know that learning information about nutrition actually only helps someone like me, and it only helps me until I pass my board exam? It doesn't help me help any of you. So if you are in information acquisition, you have to remember that your mind may get overwhelmed. And when our mind gets overwhelmed, when we become infobese, we make bad decisions. We get stressed, we overwhelm our digestive system. Guess what? That one's really important for actually helping our bodies run better. So today, what I want to do is give you permission to actually not take in more information about nutrition, but rather to recognize that the acquisition of nutrition information is not helping you, But understanding what your body needs to run better, that's the information that you need, and that's also the information that your healthcare practitioner needs to be able to help you, okay? So today's session is here for if you feel overwhelmed. So for those of you that answered that you actually think that you need to drink more water, I'm going to explain to you as we end the conversation today that that's actually false. So what do you actually need to be hydrated? We're going to go through. We're also going to talk about if you are currently struggling with any of the above, thirst, cravings, energy highs, lows, etc. And let me ask another question. Does anyone here think that, so stand up if it's a yes, that Ozempic or Wegovy, semaglutide, tirzepatide, just had to throw it in because we're right here, that is snake oil? Does anybody think it's snake oil? Stand up. Okay, stand up. Okay. Couple of people standing up, great. So it's actually the venom of Gila monsters. So that's just a fun one you can take home if anybody says, oh, these new medications, you know, they're snake oil. No, they're the venom of Gila monsters. But what actually happens is Ozempic is made in our bodies. In the lining of our digestive tract, we have a switch. We have a metabolic switch of at least 3 hormones. One of them is GLP-1, so you hear about that with the medication. So we actually have it. When people say going on those GLP-1s, you're like, no, I got it. I got it in me, right? I make it in the lining of my digestive tract along with cholecystokinin. We've got CCK, PYY, whole alphabet soup. The problem is that it is a pilot light. It's meant to turn on when we see food, when we eat food, and then it's meant to be degraded. And so the medications that we have today are ones that actually are designed to not degrade, so they last for about 7 days. That's going to be really helpful for some people, but guess what every single person needs to do? Every single person needs to make sure that their own switch, that their own internal GLP-1 is being produced optimally. And we do that by making sure that our digestion is working properly, along with all the other things that actually Rob was talking about and that we were in the conversation with before. So as you get confused in all these spaces, remember, if we are taking in information from a publicist or from a marketing or from a new medication that's out there, it's not going to help us figure out what is better for our bodies. And what we need to do is figure out how to give our bodies what it needs to run better. So how do we actually do that? Well, we could enter this whole conversation. I'm actually not going to talk much about it because it's been covered really well, about this idea of we don't just want to live longer. We actually want to live better longer, right? This whole conversation of health span. And when we look at health span, the problem is that if we Google it, we're given things like rapamycin, go take a medication, or eat this, or we're given more activity, more sleep, more water, more optimism, more compassion, more protein, more. Anybody else trying to do this? We're trying to do all of this, right? Oh, and also go off the grid for at least 3 days. No sugar, no smoking, like all of that stuff. It's like, I told my dentist the other day, I said, if you give me one more thing to do, I'm going to have to start getting ready for bed at noon. Like, I can't do all of this. That's not how we actually get to better health on that part. Better health has to be coming about what your body needs. It has to be a truly personalized plan. And coming after me, Michael's going to talk a bit about wearables and data. So how do we gather all this data? We answer 3 questions. What does your body need to run better today? It does not help anyone to know what my body needs or what my 30-year-old body as opposed to my now 50-year-old body needs. I need to understand today what my body needs. How can I make those choices? If anyone, I think this is like dieting and nutrition is the only space where if something doesn't work, you're the lemon. You're the failure, right? Like if that car breaks down or you buy a car and it's not working, there's a law against it. It's the lemon law, right? But if you try a diet or if you try fasting, has anybody here tried fasting? I had somebody come in, they were so upset. She's like, I've been trying fasting, I've been trying it. It's not working for me. I'm so bad at fasting. And I was like, no, it is so bad for you. It is not better. Why are we accepting these failures, as on ourselves on that part? We need to actually figure out what is deliciously doable. If I can't afford something, then it is not a better choice for me. So if a doctor or something you're reading or anything else is like, oh, I've got this great program for you, but it costs, as much as your kid's college tuition, you decide, is the kid going to do this or are you going to do this? We shouldn't have to make those choices. We have to turn around and say what is actually going to be doable in order for us to enjoy our better health on that part. And so which are those choices? So how do we figure that out? First and foremost, it's understanding that better nutrition is personal. It's specific to your body, as I've been saying on repeat. It's identified through personal exploration. So the only way that we can actually know if something is better is if you try it. When you go to a doctor, when you see a dietitian, when you work with a health coach, when you go to an acupuncturist, whoever is in your orbit and your care team and who you have access to, if they give you a recommendation, it is just that. It is the start of something to try. They are not telling you this is going to work for you. What they are saying is perhaps this will work for you. So one of the things that I want us to do differently is to think about those recommendations as the start of experimentation. You are the person that needs to go and say, is this actually doable? How do I feel? Is it working for me? Am I going to do it more often? And please be honest, because if you come back to me and tell me, or if you walk up my door and say, absolutely, Ashley, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have this, I'm going to do this, and then you go home and you're like, I ain't doing any of that, you know, I'm like not getting that done, I don't know what she was thinking, like I love to have wine with my husband, I'm going to go eat this with my kids, then all we've done is wasted both of our times. So how do we figure what actually works for you? That's where you bring that information in. And it's going to change with age, life stage, and your health. It is also your body is always sending us signals. If things are going the wrong direction, that's a pretty big signal, right? If things are not going at all, that's a really good signal. If hair is coming out in the shower, that is a great signal, right? Your body only has the ability to send you signals, and if instead we medicate or we take supplements or we try certain things to band-aid and cover over those, and we don't dive in and try to understand those signals, we're missing what's going to give us the information. So you want to be thinking about, okay, is my nutrition today giving my body what it needs to run better right now? And is it also, and Allie's going to talk about this later, is it also reducing and removing what can irritate, overwhelm, and disrupt those efforts? So when I ask the question about chocolate, and I ask the question about dairy and coffee or any of these others, it's an it depends. Is that ingredient irritating, disrupting, or affecting any of the functions of your body? If it is, then maybe it's not the better choice for you. But if it's not, can we include that in? Also, you know what overwhelms your body? Too much of anything. Do you know what I see all the time? People taking protein powders that have supplements in them. They're taking supplements. They're also then eating food that has fortified nutrients in there. You know what they're getting too much of? Added nutrients, right? And they're paying a lot for those added nutrients. That's overwhelming your system. When was the last time somebody actually audited your supplements to say, am I getting in too much here? Is this the right amount? Do I have that as it compares to my lab work? What happens on a continuous glucose monitor when I actually take my supplements and I'm eating my food? How is my body responding? We need that kind of data. So what are the 4 pillars of better nutrition? We want to be thinking about quality, quantity, nutrient balance, and frequency. You will notice there are no macros in here. There's no percentages. There's no daily totals. Our body doesn't care. Picking up on what Rob was just sharing with you, we've got our bodies are designed like a race car. They want you to pit stop. So we were pit stopping here. We have breakfast. Maybe we'll have a snack. Then we'll have lunch. You pit stop for better nutrition. Your body does not want you to backload. It doesn't want you to not eat all morning and then consume all your calories later in the day. It doesn't want you to get all your protein at one time and all your carbohydrates in another. It needs to be nutrient balanced so that they work together. We don't want to have unprotected carbs, but we don't want to get rid of carbohydrates, okay? So we want to look at quality, nutrient balance, the quantity, and the frequency. And this is how we evaluate and we put together your personalized nutrition plan. We can turn around and say, how much is better for me at one time? And what form of those things am I going to get in? Look, when it comes to eating, I am not good at getting in orange. I love the idea and the value of orange. It's so important for us. It's great for our hormone health, for our eyes, for hair, et cetera, and I just don't know why. I try with those orange fruits and vegetables, but I am great with turmeric tea. So for me, that's how I make sure that I get in my orange on that part. And so if somebody kept hitting me over the head and saying, why don't you have sweet potato or why don't you have carrots? It's like not gonna work for me. So we have to find the choices that will work for us as we try to balance and get in our better nutrition. So we are buying a lot of stuff right now in the name of personalized nutrition. It's billions and billions of dollars. We are often buying what is partially personalized and not truly personalized. So I want to share this slide because buyer beware. If you are buying a poop test that you found online that tells you that the almonds that you were just eating are actually the problem, and wow, I stopped eating almonds and I don't have a problem, what it's telling you is that your irritated system that you already know, which is the reason why you're buying a poop test, doesn't like the almonds that you're currently putting into it. It is not giving you any data of how to actually fix and figure out what is going on internally and then fix it and be able to eat more choices. If you are buying a genetic test that then tells you what you should and shouldn't be taking from a supplement standpoint, you are getting information about 30% of your body, and you're making supplement recommendations based on it without the 70% of information about your choices and how your body actually runs better. So why do we talk about it this way? Because in order to do truly personalized nutrition, you do typically need to do it in collaboration with practitioners. That's why I'm so excited, to be a part of the group here at UCI, because we can train more practitioners and we can help you be able to work with practitioners that are able to do this. We need to make sure if we're doing genetics, we also understand what other choices you're making, medications, et cetera, on that part. So what is not personalized care and what would be better? In the space of weight loss, we shouldn't be telling people to eat less or to try low carb or to shrink your caloric window. We should be trying to look at what, from a weight health standpoint, what does your body actually need and what is irritating, overwhelming, and disrupting those efforts. If you are constipated, you should not eat more fiber. That's not the answer. What if it's a motility issue? Right? What if your body is not moving? Maybe we need more magnesium. Maybe you're eating fiber, but you're not getting in enough water. Notice I didn't say more water, but you're not getting in enough water. If you have labs that say that you are low in iron, and especially if it's just one iron lab, we should not take an iron supplement. There are at least 12 reasons in my head that I know, all different reasons for why your iron could be low. We need to know which one applies to you right now before we start you on something. If you're vegan, if you're plant monogamous, wonderful. So we need to get your nutrition from plants. We do not turn around and say you need B12 and calcium as supplements. We turn around and say, what does your body actually need to run better? And if you're dehydrated, you don't need to drink more water. Hydration is not the result of drinking water. Hydration is actually about the water coming into the cells and making sure, along with water coming into your cells, that your body is also getting the nutrients in collaboration with that water and bringing it into the cells. So it's going to support all the metabolic functions in your body. It's extremely important, but we need minerals for water. We need minerals, we need water, we need it to happen frequently, and we need sleep. We also need to recognize what impairs hydration: alcohol, sugar, and non-nutritive sweeteners, including your stevia and your monk fruit. Caffeine, filtration, cleaning up our water is actually making it less nutrient dense, and that can actually impact our hydration. Medications, heavy metals, environmental pollutants, we'll be hearing more about that, and stress. So in order to figure out, are you hydrated, we need to know, are you a hose or are you a sponge? If you are drinking water and right now heading out, you right now, the one going out to pee, you're a hose. Okay? So we need you to be a sponge. We need you to mostly absorb that water. If you drink water and pee and drink water and pee and drink water and pee, what's the problem? You're losing what your body is supposed to be retaining. It's not that I never want you to urinate. My dad's a urologist. We got to make sure we pee. But there's a good time frame in that part. So one of the things, and I have this for everyone because I don't have time to go through it, but there's a free guide that we have for you. You can go ahead and grab it. And we'll also send this out for anyone who's not grabbing it, or if any of this doesn't work, don't tell me. But we'll send it out by way of your email. And what I want you to do is, when you haven't had caffeine for about an hour, or alcohol, or other sugar, food, any of those dehydrators, I want you to drink just 8 ounces of water. And I want you to see how long it takes you to urinate. If you have to urinate in sooner than 2 hours, you're not absorbing your water. And that may also mean that we need to be looking at not just the water that you're drinking, but we need to be looking at all of those dehydrating factors, and we also need to be looking at what could actually go into your water. And that may mean that we need a supplement, but it also may mean that the type of water that you're consuming, needs to be different, or it might mean that if you're having your coffee and you're drinking a bunch of water in the morning, that you're actually washing your floor with dirty shoes. We're not actually hydrating at the same time, so it just means we need a different plan for you. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means we need a different plan on that part, all right? I wanted to say thank you to everyone. There's a ton we can talk about with nutrition, but I don't want to make anyone info-beast, so thanks for having me today, and if you have any questions, I'll see you later.